is where MAGA comes to talk. It is 4:40 in the a.m. here on the East Coast in Florida. And man, I'm so excited for today's show because what President Trump has done is so beautiful and amazing. You know, the United States prior to Trump has been run by gangsters, outlaws, and corrupt public officials. You know, we talk about how Mexico's run by the drug cartels, right? Narco economy. Our country is not that much different. You know, all these politicians, other than Trump, that have made their way into power, into the White House, everywhere else, are just as corrupt as the drug cartels. I mean, get a great example of what happened yesterday. U.S. aid. That's obviously a deep state company, or agency, a deep state agency, and it's where the majority of the corruption is dispersed. You know, and I see some of these stories like they're paying for drag shows in, I don't know, these strange countries, you know, Peruvian drag queen story hour. Do you think they really are paying for that stuff? It's how they pay off all the politicians. It's how they pay off all because, I mean, think about it. These people in Washington know no other way other than a life of corruption, right? So when someone is a lifelong criminal, do they really view what they're doing as crime? I give an example. You know, you see this in movies sometimes, but this is a real life scenario. You get mugged on the street. Someone robs you. What do they say? Give me my money. Give me my money. People that are criminally insane that rob people are so sick and twisted that they think in your wallet you're holding their money. They think you're the thief. You have their money and they want it back. Give me my money. A very powerful statement. I know you probably haven't thought about it too much, but that's a very powerful statement. Well, that's how these Democrats and even Republican establishment people, the DC insiders, are when it comes to USAID, USAID. They view that as their money. Yeah, it's criminal, but they don't view it that way. They view it as that's how they make money. And Donald Trump, with Elon Musk's Doge, just took their money away from them. And they want it back. And they're not embarrassed to go out there and try to get it back. It's crazy. Jamin72, very, very good statement. After watching Trump, America will not accept anything less for a very long time. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Welcome from Oklahoma. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. You know, when we hear these strange expenditures like paying for drag queen story time and all these weird countries, do you really think that that's where the money's going? Or is it going in someone's bank account that's getting paid off? I don't think they're paying for all that crap. I think that's a cover. That's what they put on the books. But that's not what the money really goes to. And the arrogance. And you know what I'm curious about? You know, the Jamie Raskin, Congress, we decide, you know, where the money goes. USAID was established by President Kennedy, right? So how many of the things have been getting paid since Kennedy started it that have never been stopped? Irony Rose, very good. The curtain in Oz really got pulled back yesterday. No doubt about that, Irony Rose. That's another one, you know, exactly. Wizard of Oz. there's no doubt that, I mean, they have other ways that they disperse their corrupt money, but I think U.S. aid is probably one of the biggest. Nothing could convince me that they're paying for all these weird things we're hearing about. That's just what they put in the books. They have to put something on the books to send the money. And the reason there's so much of this trans and drag queen stuff is because that's what's been in vogue for the last 4 years with the last administration. So that's like the most recent. That's the most recent cover that they put on the books. I don't believe it. Do you? I'm really looking forward to them to do a forensic accounting audit of where the money really is going. That's what I'm really curious about. Really. I mean, I'm just, I'm on my second cup of coffee. I've been up for a long, long time. And very excited about going on the air today. I've got the stream set up today. And just give you guys a preview. The thumbnail, it's President Trump. It says it's over. It's over in the thumbnail. And what I mean by it is the old way of it's over. Trump's changed everything. This El Salvador deal, is amazing. Marco Rubio truly deserves the Nobel freaking Peace Prize. I don't think this is an exaggeration at all. Okay, Marco Rubio very well may be the greatest Secretary of State this country has ever had. What he has been doing in Latin America for this country is spectacular. Can you think of any great accomplishments that have been done by past Secretaries of State? They go around the world and give money away. But I can't think of anything. What is a major positive accomplishment for the American people, that a past Secretary of State has worked out? Nothing comes to mind. Anything come to your mind? And Marco Rubio, what he's done is helped us in so many ways, and he's just getting started. I love when they asked Marco Rubio if he was going to go to Cuba. He's like, no, not unless they're talking about, leaving the government there. He says, we've got nothing to talk about. I thought that was great. Marco, I tweeted this yesterday. I tagged Marco Rubio. And, when he was running for Senate last time, his office contacted me and asked if I would interview him. So I have some contact there, and they know me, and I sent this tweet out, and I tagged Marco Rubio. I watched the Fox News interview he did last night. At least I didn't see the whole thing. I saw part of it. I came in the middle of it, but I said he's looking very presidential, isn't he? Marco Rubio has come a long way from the 2015 race, and I'm so I could easily see myself voting for him for president. I'm in my car, in my driveway, getting ready to head off and get coffee, so I don't. The reason I'm in the car and not in the house, I don't want to wake my wife up. And so I thought I'd be polite. A lot of YouTubers, I've mentioned this before, do videos from their cars. The reason they do that is the acoustics in a car are perfect. It's like but I just don't want to wake my wife up. It's 4:49 in the morning. She's sleeping. That would not be nice. She wouldn't get mad, but, why do that? No, but Marco Rubio has come so far. He had a rough start when he became a U.S. Senator. That response to the State of the Union, he did that one time with the water, and then some of the things that went on in the 2015 primaries. But he is he's really grown up and just is spectacular. I would have no problem voting for him to be president at all. At all. He and JD may have to come to some arrangement, because I don't know. He's very impressive, isn't he? Marco Rubio. Could you see him Could you see yourself voting for Marco Rubio for president? I could. He'd be our second Florida president, right? President Trump is the first Florida president. Well, I'm going to talk about this on the show. You know, what Marco Rubio has done, I'm going to talk about this El Salvador deal. You know, it's not just that he is a native Spanish speaker, being Cuban American, but as far as I know, he is the first United States Secretary of State to go on these very important visits to the leaders in South America and treat them with respect, right? And they're obviously responding to it and giving him and President Trump everything they want. Panama's caved, you know, that'll be handled. This El Salvador deal is amazing. I'm going to talk about that a lot on the show today, but El Salvador, which notoriously has the most terrifying prisons in all of Latin America, has agreed to take in all of the criminal illegals in this country that are the very violent ones that they don't, you know, the other countries won't take, or the Trump administration doesn't feel confident in sending them to their home countries. They said they'll even take American violent criminals. And I'm surprised the ACLU hasn't even started whining about that yet. I mean, that's absolutely amazing what President Trump and Marco Rubio have brokered with El Salvador. It's not just speaking Spanish. He's a native Spanish speaker. That helps. I was talking about this yesterday. A lot of, because listen, I live in South Florida, large Hispanic population. A lot of Hispanic people, I was talking about this yesterday, they don't like doing business with white guys, with gringos. So, although Grenell did very good in Venezuela, Marco Rubio has an edge because they bond with him, they connect with him, but he can also speak to them fluently as a Hispanic American, Cuban American, in their own language without a translator. You know, he doesn't sound like a guy who learned Spanish in high school and college. You know, he's a native speaker. You know, all that helps. All that helps. You know, usually what secretaries of state do is they go around the world causing problems, really, and divide, and give money away. Now Marco Rubio. Marco, you know, the biggest problems that the United States have outside of our borders is Latin America. That's the biggest threat. Rubio or Vance, I know it's going to be, it looks like a competition between Rubio and Vance, doesn't it? It really does. You know, it really does, because there's Rubio is not a vice presidential guy. He's a top of the ticket guy. So it's hard to say, you know, but it's been a long time since the Secretary of State became president. It used to be that being Secretary of State was a stepping stone to be president, like in the 1800s. That's why Hillary wanted to be Secretary of State. She thought it would help her become president, but it hasn't helped anyone. So, you know, the odds are very much in J.D. Vance's favor of getting the nomination, not Marco Rubio, but he's doing very good. He's making us proud. You know, I was so impressed with Marco Rubio when he was talking to the press. Like, I don't know, was that a factory or something when he was talking about U.S. aid and Latin America? Did you notice he had on his suit? He had this microphone that I use on, clipped on his suit. I don't know why he had this microphone on. Did a member of the press give that to him? I'm not sure what that was about. Or was it his own people making a video that wanted him mic'd up? I don't know. Yeah. The American media is irrelevant. They become more and more irrelevant each and every day. They really do. They just don't understand what's going on. It's like these Democrats at the U.S. aid office yesterday. They don't understand things have changed. You know, that going down, those Democrats going down to the U.S. aid office yesterday was a panic move, a hysterical panic attack move, because they saw their money being taken away, you know, and you can still get newspapers, E-Corp, they still have them. They're a lot thinner than they used to be, and the news is old, but you can get them. But no, the job that Marco Rubio is doing is amazing. You know, El Salvador agreeing to take in all these prisoners. Who would have even dreamed of that? He sure is, Carol. President Trump is incredible, Carol wrote. You know, you don't, one thing I learned when I was much younger, and sometimes when you get out, you know, things happen and you lose control, but you don't want to make any decision when you're in a panic state, when you're in a state of anxiety. You know, things happen. You make a decision in a state of anxiety, and that's what the Democrats did yesterday. It's almost always the wrong decision, you know, and I can see that in my own life with things I've done. You know, when I've made a decision when I've been in a panic mode, bad decision. And that's what the Democrats did yesterday. What they did is, you know, in the day before, Schumer and these other Democrats, frankly, they look like a bunch of assholes. They were talking about the tariffs on Mexico and Canada, and Schumer goes out there with a can of Corona and an avocado. First of all, who drinks Corona out of a damn can? This is the guy who put the cheese hamburgers on the grill. Remember that? You drink Corona out of a bottle if you're a man, you know. But he had a can of Corona, probably from the Senate cloakroom, and an avocado, and the other ones did this, and boom, you know. And the next day, it's all over. The trade war ended before it began, with Canada and Mexico. And I was on my podcast last night, and I'm going to bring this up again on the radio at 6. That announcement that from President Trump came in, around, I was getting lunch. So it was like, say, around 11:30. I was at Publix getting a Publix sub. And that came up on True Social. So Mexico City, is Mexico City on Mountain Time or Central Time? I think they're on Mountain Time. So in Mexico City, the president of Mexico, it was like 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning when that announcement came out. So the Mexican president woke up first thing in the morning. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Are you worried about BRICS? No, they're not going to stop using the U.S. dollar. Are you kidding me? Give me a break. Thank you for the super chat there. Greatly appreciated. F11 English. I'm not sure how to say it. It doesn't taste as good in a can. You want Corona in a bottle. I had a Corona on Saturday right out of the bottle. I've never had beer out of a can sucks. You want beer out of a bottle. But the first thing they did, the Mexican president, the first thing she did was get up in the morning, go to work, and surrender in the trade war. That was it. First thing, because her time was like 9:30 in the morning. And then Canada in the afternoon. That was it. It's over. There's no trade war. And both Canada and Mexico are sending soldiers to their border, their U.S. borders, to stop the illegals and stop the drugs. And Canada is even appointing a drug czar up there for the first time that I know of. It's all settled in just a short time. You know, so that's it. No tariffs from Canada. No tariffs from Mexico. It's it. It's over. They know that's how powerful the United States is. America's greatest power is our economic power. It's more powerful than even our military. And that's what Trump's using. Remember, the United States, we have two very important economic things, okay, that make us so powerful. We are the largest economy in the world, the United States, the largest economy in the world. And the second one, the liberals always act like it's a negative, but it's positive because it's a lot of power. We are the largest consumer in the world, the largest consumer in the world of goods. That's tremendous amounts of power because everybody around the world is dependent on us to buy their crap. And that is a lot of power, and Trump is using that power. I can't wait till they really start opening up the books with the U.S. aid. It's great. It does not get better than this. It doesn't. This is as good as it gets. And it's going to get better. What I mean, as good as it gets is Trump. We're never going to have a president like this ever again. So enjoy it. And if you watch how everything's going, these people don't know how to deal with Trump. They just don't know how to deal with Trump. They have no freaking idea on how to deal with President Trump. They try, but they don't know how. The media, he's doing so much, the media cannot even keep up with it. Right? They're pundits. They can't even keep up with it. There's so many balls up in the air. Every 10 minutes, he's doing something new. It's beautiful. But I don't believe that they're funding all this crap around the world. I think that's just the lies they put on the accounting books. I'd like to know where the money's really going. Do you really think they're sending money for Drag Queen Story Hour in Peru? I don't think so. Are you kidding me? If they are sending money to the Drag Queen Story Hour in Peru, the amount that they're giving is like 5% of what they're really sending to it. They're keeping the rest. I mean, look at Zelensky. He says they've only received half the money. He doesn't know where the other half went. Joe Biden and people like that. That's where it went. And these Democrats, they just won't learn. Trump is so smart. He really is. I mean, he just is so brilliant. He knows exactly what he's doing. No, we're not making enemies of the world. The world's been laughing at us for years. Who cares? See, in the United States, Bijou's obviously not an American. In the United States, we don't care what people in other countries think. We just don't. Americans, we don't know who the leaders of the foreign countries are not because we're uninformed or uneducated. Who cares? Who cares? Knowing who the prime minister or president of these countries is as important as knowing who the governor of Nebraska is. Who cares? We don't care about the world. We care about us. We don't, that's it. Oh, Newsom, he's a freaking lunatic. Oh, it's amazing, Z Corp. It's just amazing. I'm going to start with talking about on the radio today. I'm going to start with talking about Marco Rubio and the El Salvador deal and everything that he's been doing, because I want to, plus he's I broadcast in Miami, so I'm on the air in Miami. That's Marco Rubio country. His people do listen to me, and he's going to get praised. I'll tell you that. Kamala Harris making, who cares? Who cares about vice presidents? They all amount to nothing. Right? No, the United States, we do not need other countries. And look at this deal that Trump worked out with Ukraine. You know, I remember after when Trump first became president in his first term, he was talking about these stupid deals that the Bushes made, that we should have made Iraq pay us back for all the money we spent to liberate them in oil. And they're stupid, they didn't do it. So look what he did. They have a lot of rare earth minerals in Ukraine, and I've even heard of some of these things, but they're that's how rare they are. And Ukraine has agreed to President Trump's demand that they pay us back all the money we've sent them in these very rare earth minerals. Which, when have we ever gotten paid back for funding a country's war? Never. They just take. They don't even say thank you. I mean, look at some of these trolls are from Europe. How much money did we spend saving Europe in the Second World War, and how many American lives were lost? And they don't care. They spit on us. They disrespect us. Screw Europe. You know, who cares? I'm not. You know, I have. My wife was talking to me the other day about if I would want to take a trip to London with my daughter. And I said, no, if she wants to go to London, we'll send her to London. I have no interest in going to Europe. I have no freaking interest in I don't care about Europe. Ukraine can pay us back. That's it. Who cares? You know, who cares? But you know, there's a lot of people in Washington that are very worried about with the U.S. aid about being found out and going to prison. And these politicians, well, they've gotten elected taking money from these big donors with the promise of giving them back money, and a lot of it's paid back through that U.S. aid, and now they can't do it. These politicians, boy, they're up against it right now. They really are. They can't deliver on what they owe to the donors. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is just an awesome time. I'm sure they want Elon Musk out of the Treasury. Wait till when he starts going through the Treasury of where they're sending money. That's going to be beautiful, Elon Musk. I've got this article that he's got this team, Elon Musk, of young geniuses. Some of them haven't been to college, but they're tech geniuses that he's got working on Doge that are going through all this stuff. It's beautiful. No, that's not true. Congress does not have to approve everything. That's not true, Bijou. I know Congress would say that, but it's not true. Even if it is, it were, we control Congress. Trump controls Congress. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It is all hitting the fan. And the panic in Washington is so much fun to watch. These people have been effing us over our entire lives. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. On my next stream, I'll be live on the radio, taking live calls. You can call me on the air, and I'll take your calls. And it's going to be a big, big, amazing show today. No doubt about it. Oh, yeah. Trump is just knocking it out of the park, and he just doesn't. Boom, 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 nonstop. Yeah, USAID was set up with an executive order, so Trump can wipe it out with an executive order. Well, Marco Rubio is the acting head of USAID. It's being put under the control of the State Department. But my guess is USAID is a like CIA front organization, wouldn't you think? I'm really curious to know who these people are in the Office of the Treasury Payment System. Those got to be some of the most connected people anywhere to have that kind of gig. Oh, yeah. Trump is changing everything in this country. And one of the things that he's doing that the Democrats have no really clear idea of is he's changing what the American people expect from our leaders in Washington and what they'll tolerate. Well, listen, guys, I got to finish getting ready for work, but I'll see you on the next stream. If you're new, subscribe. If you're already subbed, do me the favor of liking the video, all right? The next stream is already up. It'll be live in less than an hour, but the chat room's there, so you can jump over there and chat if you want. And I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Take